and ruin your life. You cannot buy a house, a car, or anything because you can't borrow money. And they're out there, they're going to say, we'll give you a free Starbucks gift card. And then the college lines of gullible people are standing there and they're like, yeah, that's a great idea. I get a cup of coffee. And meanwhile, they're opening 10 accounts on credit. Mistake. Paying them 20% every month on every dime. Going negative. Are they good stewards of money? Right? I can't tell you how many people I see. I don't know if you guys have stewards around. We have stewards. It's like a gas station. Next time you go to stewards, count the amount of people who are using food stamps in one hand and buying lotto tickets and cigarettes with the other. Are they good stewards of money? Think about it. All right? So, are you a good stewardship of the belongings you have? What does that mean? Your bedroom. Do you keep it relatively clean? Ask yourself this question. You have the gift, the grace of having a roof over your head, a warm bed, a nice room. Do you treat it with honor and respect as it's a gift literally from God? Or do you trash that sucker? Right? Think about it. Are you a good steward with your belongings? Now, let's talk about bigger ones. Okay? Bigger ones. Life decisions. Big life decisions. Specifically, college. You guys realize the number one reasons people pick certain colleges is not because of how good educationally it is. It's not because of what it costs. They ignore those two factors. They pick it because of where it's located and the size of the bedroom for 4 years. That is the number one reason why colleges are picked. The size of the bedroom and where it's located. Down on the list is its academic prowess and how much it costs. Colleges know these things. What gym it has is really important. Here's a question as you start thinking about what colleges to pick. Are you willing to bankrupt your family for life because you want a big room for 4 years in Manhattan? Think about it. Are you being a good steward? Let's say your parents are paying for your education. Are you being a good steward with their life savings? So you can stay in a bigger bedroom and have a nice gym to go to if you want to be in Manhattan and go to school for 4 years. Think about it. Literally ask your parents, this is my pot of money for college. What if I were to use half of it and go to this excellent school otherwise, and I use the other half to have a down payment on my house one day? Right? That's a question your parents will respect. That's thinking ahead. Okay? When you're looking at what major to pick in college, you got to ask yourself a real solid question. Why are you going to college? Is it to find yourself at $50,000 a year? And then take 7 years to get a 4-year education? Right? No. The reason we're going to college, listen up, is so you get a little piece of paper, okay, that says, yes, you can now double your income for the rest of your life and feed a family. Why am I bringing this up? Well, many people will go to college and pick simply what they like with no economic concept about that. So they'll say, yeah, I'm going to go to this school and I'm going to be a musician. And they're going to spend $50,000 a year to go to the school. Meaning it's $200,000 in debt when you get out, and they're going to make $27,000 when they get out of the college that they just spent $200,000 for. You know what that means? They will be in poverty until they're dead. Now, what's wrong with the music major? Nothing, as long as it's a second major. Your hobbies are not why you're going to college. Okay? Hobbies are not why you go to college. You can practice your hobby at home. You can major in a hobby at college. But you should have a plan of stewardship of how am I going to live in this world without donors? How am I going to feed a family? And what kind of debt am I bringing into this relationship? Am I bringing my family's future up or down with the decisions I'm making? And it happens now. The reason I'm bringing this up to you guys is college is only 2-3 years away, 1 year away for many of you. These are the decisions that will put you on a path to poverty or not, forever. That's why we're talking about it. So if you are an art major, great. Do it as a major, do it as a minor. If that's what you don't want to do for a living, fine. But I'd get another degree that can pay the bills also. Do your art and do your human resources. Be the teacher, whatever it's going to be. If your art happens to take off where you can make a living from it, like the 5% of people out there, then do it. Right? If you're the other 95%, at least you're going to be able to eat. Does that make sense? Great. All right. Then here's another question. Back to the last thing on the money topic. I hate to break it to you guys. Do you have a job? Good. If you don't have a job, why not? Listen, I got you. I have 300 kids here. You're going to have some kids actually doing stuff. Again, back to rhetorical questions. Okay? Rhetorical means you don't have to answer them. It's just a thought process. Okay? So, the question here is, do you have a job? And the answer is, jobs at your age teach you something very important. It teaches you what the value of a dollar is. My kids, when we were growing up, they were growing up, I used to have item 4 on my driveway when I first moved into my new house. Item 4 is like rocks. Okay, it was an unpaved driveway. And I did the stupid idiot thing in the world and had them plow my fairly long driveway when it snowed. And you know where they put all the snow? Right on my lawn. You know where all the rocks went? On my lawn. You know what happens when there's rocks all over your lawn? You don't have a lawn. So I spent the entire spring picking rocks out of my lawn. Guess who got to help me? 1, 2. They were out there picking rocks every day after school, bucket after bucket. And as they were in misery picking rocks, hating every second, I looked at them and I said, kids, you don't do well in school, get used to it. Okay? And all of a sudden they were like, their grades went from average to like off the chart, because they just think of those rocks every time. Right? But what a job does at your age is it tells you what you don't want to do. The other thing it does is it also tells you maybe what you do want to do. In other words, at your age, you should be doing different occupations, whether it's working just around them to see what is it these people actually do. It's very romantic to say, yeah, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to make a lot of money as an accountant. And you've never actually seen an accountant do what they do in their day. And then you go sit with them, and they're like on a computer. And you're like, I don't know if I want to do that. Here's a suggestion. Do the accountant like observation before you become one. Before you spend the $200,000 on college to get into a job you will hate. So think about the jobs you want to do that put money on the table. Then check them out before you go to college. Then make your decisions. Does that make sense? Good. Talents, okay? Talents are those extra things, like sports, like art, like music. You have talents in some things. Are you fostering those talents? Are you doing it for the greater glory of God? You can play sports. You can be a professional athlete and give God glory in that. Right? You can play sports simply to be social. That's a place to evangelize. You can play sports that help prepare your body for your future spouse. Music. You can contribute to music here at Veritas, wherever God puts you in the church. Using those gifts for His glory. Singing, art. You can be a great artist. All of those are hobbies. All of those are talents. Are you fostering those talents with your time? Next one is body. All right? Now, if you guys have been veterans, that means you've probably heard me speaking at some point about bodies. But whose body is yours? God's and your future spouse. You're just the steward of your spouse's body. What happens in marriage? Think about it. In marriage, you're giving yourself, including your body, to your spouse. Right? You don't keep it. You're just a steward of it. And your spouse is keeping their body for you. Are you a good steward of your body? This includes self-mastery. What are you putting in your head? What are you watching? Right? What are you thinking about? It's also, am I eating 75 Twinkies? Okay? Am I going to McDonald's 6 times a week? Right? Because bottom line is you are a steward of your spouse's body. And it doesn't mean you have to look perfect. It's simply, again, 5 talents, 2 talents, 1 talent. Everyone has a body. No matter what you do with your body, for some people, I can tell you, metabolism-wise, it is not a fair playing field, okay? I can tell you, if I eat a cheeseburger, I might as well take the cheeseburger and just go and stick it on my tongue. That's where it goes. I can't eat them. I might as well just patch it on. Take the thing on my body. Why eat it? My wife can have 25 cheeseburgers and still have that same shape. I don't get it. It's not human, but that's their metabolism is. Okay? Now, my point is, are you a good steward with what you have? Right? So physical discipline. Finally, then there's relationships. Are you a good steward of the people God has placed in your life? Relationships. It is not an accident that you are a sibling to your brothers and sisters, specifically your younger ones. Okay? It is not an accident. As a matter of fact, your younger siblings will more likely turn out based on your influence almost as much as your parents. Alright? The responsibility to be an older sibling is significant. Because your decisions aren't just yours, they affect a whole other soul. Are you a good steward of that relationship? Are you a good steward of the relationships you have with your friends? Are you a good steward of the relationship with those around you that are marginalized, that have no friends? Again, there are no accidents. Are you passing up Christ in the hall without saying hi? Are you passing up walking by the lunch lady without saying good morning? Those are the moments of stewardship that you have with relationships. And finally, there is stewardship of time. You spend your time wasted on nothing, okay? Chronically and forever. Television, video games, surfing the net looking at nothing. Or you spend your time nurturing that which you're a steward of. So with money, are you working, right? Talent, by practicing sports, art, etc. Are you using your time with your body exercising? With your relationships, okay? Including the relationship with God, by being with others and spending time with your family, especially your siblings, and serving your community. Are you spending your stewardship of your time volunteering in the future at Camp Veritas, right? And by praying and going to Mass. But what do you do with your time? Now, there are times for rest. There should be times for rest daily. But it shouldn't be the dominant force in your life. You should not have 80% of your day at rest. That is not normal. That's sloth. Okay? That's gluttony. That's laziness. 80 to 90% of your day should be spent on, again, money, time, talent, relationships, body. Right? Including your intellect. Reading. School. Alright? Now, let's take this to the other extreme. Other extreme. The rich young man. And And behold, the man came to him saying, Teacher, what good deed must I do to have eternal life? And he said to him, Why are you asking about what is good? There's only one who is good. If you would enter life, keep the commandments, he said to him. Which ones? And Jesus said, You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not bear false witness, honor your father and mother, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. And the young man said to him, All these I've kept, but what still do I lack? And Jesus said to him, If you want to be perfect, go, sell what you possess, and give to the poor, and you'll have treasure in heaven, and come follow me. When the young man heard this, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions. And then Jesus said to his disciples, Truly I tell you, it's difficult for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Again, I tell you, it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And when the disciples heard this, they were greatly astonished, and they said, Well, who can be saved? All right? So, what's the other extreme? The other extreme is making all this other stuff your God. All right? So let me tell you about myself for the sake of just credibility. Okay? I do not make a lot of money. I don't make tons. I make enough. And what happened is when I was young, I was a good steward of that money. And I never spent it on stupid stuff. I always brought Tupperware leftovers to work. I never basically bought what I wanted, always what we needed as a family. Right? The kids do never bother asking me for something they want unless it's Christmas or the birthday. They can earn it. Right? It's always what they need. They never lacked. I always worked. I always got through school as fast as possible. I was practicing medicine at the age of 22 because I got through school. I am probably one of the richer 40-year-olds you know today because after I made the money I made, I invested it. I didn't spend it on stupid stuff. I got out of debt as fast as possible. You know what happens with investments? You know how credit cards take your money for interest? There's also interest if you're the credit card. And if that money is accumulating through time, you end up making as much as a salary over time just from the money I put in 20 years ago. I'm telling you this because I'm telling you it's very possible. I'm not the smartest man. I'm one of the rich. I was given very little from my parents except safety and love. Right? In the world of money. But work ethic. All right? Now, however, being in this state, I'm very concerned. Is this going to obstruct my way to get to heaven? And I'm always looking at it. The difficulty with the rich is attachment to all this stuff. Even now, with the comforts of my life, if I'm so attached to it, I cannot follow the Lord, then that has become my idol. Right? If you're an athlete, you spend all your time as an athlete, and you don't have time for God, and you can't give it up to do what God's calling you to do, that becomes your God. So talents can take away from God. If you're so self-absorbed that you have to look perfect to the point where you don't have time for God, you can't follow Him when it's time. The volunteer camp Veritas. See the blood? Guess what? Your body becomes your God. You can't drop it and follow Christ. That's why it's harder for the rich to go through an eye of a needle, because of that attachment, that fear. It is not a sin to be a steward of many things. The sin is the attachment to those things, and not being able to give up those things when the time comes to follow Christ. There has been rich kings and popes who are saints. The money has nothing to do with it. It's the attachment. What are they doing with it? Are they good stewards of it? Are they giving it away when the need arises with no idea what the right hand's doing to the left? Okay? The key with all blessings and grace is first thankfulness. It's acknowledging the graces we've been given in our lives. Okay? It's being thankful for the graces you have. Yeah, that dirty bedroom. Yeah, your family. Yeah, your body. Yeah, your talents. To thank God. Like, make a list. We are now starting starting to live in an age of socialism, where socialism is sweeping across the land. Okay? Socialism is where those who would like to make sure no one suffers, right? The point is they don't want anyone to suffer poverty. They want to make sure no one suffers the consequences and pain of poor decisions. They do this by taxing those who made good decisions and by effect enslaving all to a life of poverty. What do I mean by this? Let me tell you a story. 3 guys grow up. Okay? They all came from the same neighborhood. Basically the same family background. 3 guys. The first guy is a good steward. He works hard, he saves hard, he makes good decisions, he goes without. The other 2 squander their talents. They do whatever they want, they spend money, they go to the vending machine, they leave their house open, their air conditioning's on, they buy lotto tickets and cigarettes. Eventually those 2 decide, you know what? Let's just vote to take that guy's money away. There's 2 of us and 1 of him. Is that right? Is that good? That's socialism. That's socialism. Okay? It's coveting his goods and then stealing them. Okay? That's socialism. And if you don't think socialism's coming, Bernie Sanders is a socialist. He runs on it. Okay? It's here. We're not talking about some ethereal possibility. And you see how many people are at his rallies? All right, that's socialism. Now, rather, Catholics believe in social justice. There's a big difference between social justice and socialism. Social justice is not the idea that everybody needs to have the same stuff. Social justice is the idea that everyone should be given the opportunity to succeed. What's the difference? Everyone needs the freedom to do great. That's what social justice is. Social justice is to say, if you work hard and you worked that day, you should make a wage that you can feed your family. You shouldn't have to work 17 hours to feed a family of 4 Americans. That means a just minimum wage, right? That's social justice. Social justice is having a public education where everybody can study and educate themselves. And then have the freedom to make these good choices. They at least have the foundation. At least they're in the game. That's social justice. Again, socialism is, no matter what your choice is, no matter how much you're a goofball, everyone's going to give you free stuff. The problem with socialism, and again, that's what's being really strongly pushed in colleges, basically all of them at this point. Okay? Colleges are pushing socialism. The problem with that, and giving everyone free stuff, and everyone has all that, and then everyone's broke, okay? The problem with that is there's no grace in it. Because you've taken the free will out of it. If someone takes your stuff against your will, like the 2 guys voted to take the 1 guy's stuff away, he didn't give it away. He therefore had no grace. Giving a charity gives grace. The people receiving it, because it was given to them for nothing, also had to know that it became entitled. They became entitled. They're not grateful. Okay? So that's the problem. So forced charity through taxation or socialism is a type of slavery. There is no grace in socialism. Universally, there's no society on the planet Earth that is socialist, that is growing closer to God and faith. Not one. All of Europe, following. They're all socialists. Okay? A lot of these Latin American countries falling from faith, they're all socialists. If you look at who's leaving the church at Catholic faith, they're universally socialist countries because they make their government their God. Alright? So what now? What now? Evaluate your life. Are you a good steward? Are you aware of the gifts God has given you? Again, make a list of the gifts so you know what you have. Start thanking Him. And then it's all about self-discipline. You pray for the virtues in order to have some self-control. You want to work hard in school. You want to think of your family or vocation to come. You want to have a 5-year plan. Like, where do I want to be in 5 years with all these lists of things? Never go into unnecessary debt where you'll be a slave to a bank or a credit card company. Start thinking about economics. And when you do it when you're rich, we always need scholarships for more kids. And then start out your financial, physical, and spiritual life on the right foot. And finally, understand that everybody is a steward of something. Maybe a lot or a little. You do the absolute best with what you have, and you will be rewarded by our Heavenly Father. You will hear the words, "Well done, my good and faithful servant," just as He said to those of the towns. Amen? Amen. You guys are saints, all right?